Welcome back, softies, for another episode of the Soft Knocks podcast.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Out of the groove. I don't even know how this works anymore.
Did we ever really know how it works?
No.
All right.
All of our fans are like, all right, they finally gave up. They've had enough.
Sorry, guys, we're back.
Let me correct that.
We're gonna do this again.
All of our fan.
Hey, I've had a couple people ask where it's been. By a couple people, I mean friends.
Yeah.
No actual fans.
No one's like reaching out and stalking you.
No.
No one's showing up to your door being like,
Where's the next episode?
where's the next episode?
I can't wait to hear about Tango and Cash, please. Oh. But yeah, we are back. Sorry for the delay there. Jason was out of town for a couple weeks, and me and my entire family got sick, so kind of stayed away from everyone. But so if I do still have a little hoarse in the voice, I sound worse than normal, but I'm alive.
Maybe this one will just sound extra choppy. Maybe it'll just be a bunch of mutes.
Best episode yet.
It's just not. We just have to mute the whole thing. Just release an hour of blank space.
Oh God.
Best scores ever.
It's good to be back.
It is.
How was your trip?
It was good.
Arizona, right?
So we flew into Vegas, and then we rented a car, and we drove over.
Yeah, I didn't realize you rented a car. That's quite a.
It actually turned out to be a lot more driving than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Just in general, I really underestimated that, but it was all right. Like Las Vegas it's not that far from the Grand Canyon. Like the Grand Canyon basically runs into Vegas. You can either go into Arizona and you go on the South Rim. You can go into, Utah, and you can go like the north side of it. So we rented a minivan. We drove from the Vegas airport. It was much cheaper for me to fly into Vegas. The way I worked it out, like it just worked out to do it this way. And then we stayed.
What about gas?
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't too bad. I mean, these cars these days are pretty fuel efficient. But we were gonna have to rent a car for the week anyway, because if we just go stay with my parents and we all want to go somewhere, they don't have a car that can haul all of us.
Yeah.
So we were gonna have to rent a car regardless. We stayed in this little town called Williams. It's like an hour south of like the main tourist Grand Canyon spot. So we went up to the Grand Canyon. We were planning on just doing the Grand Canyon one day, like walking around and checking that out and whatnot. First day we get there, it's fucking snowing. Like big ass snowflakes.
Brought the Iowa weather.
Foggy as shit. And the Grand Canyon's an hour away. So I'm like looking at the weather and I'm like, yeah, maybe it'll clear up. So we'll drive up there. So we drive an hour. You know, you got to pay to get into the park, and can't see 20 feet in front of you.
You just fall in the hole.
Yeah, we just like I was surprised at how many other people were also there. But like we go, we're like walking around. It's like a Iowa snowstorm, just snow everywhere. We go to where like some of the spots are where you can look out and see the Grand Canyon. Can't see shit. Like you would not know there was a Grand Canyon because all you saw was fog. And so
you're not selling me on this trip so far.
God, I know. And so like I was like,
Jesus.
And we'd been there we drove an hour and we'd been there for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, Mia, I'm not doing this. We're gonna have to go figure something else out. And so we were only planning on doing that like one day, but we decided we'll just come back the next day. It's supposed to be pretty clear. So we that first day we just ended up like going back to the hotel. We were going to use the hotel pool, but we get back, hotel pool has a chlorine imbalance. Pool's closed. Like it might be open in a couple hours. So we go
like planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah. So like we grabbed something for lunch, I think from like a
McDonald's.
We had bought lunch. We went to a grocery store, bought a couple bottles of water, and we bought stuff for lunch because we figured we were going to be up at the Grand Canyon, like walking around and stuff. And so we had lunch already. So then we just ate lunch and like hung out and played cards for a while, and kept calling the front desk, and they're like, yeah, it's not ready yet. And then eventually they were just like, probably not going to be fixed today.
Oh, God.
Like, they're like, we're sorry. I'm like, yeah, well, it is what it is, I guess. There was a brewery / distillery, like, next door to our hotel. So at some point that day, we just took the kids, we took the deck of cards, and we went over to this place and like had food and had some beverages and hung out and played cards all day. We did the Grand Canyon the next day, and it was nice out. Still, we had to drive back up there and all that, but it was pretty cool. The kids got to see it, and Mia had never seen it, so good time.
Isn't it just a giant hole? Or is there,
Yeah, like I mean, a lot of people do a lot of like big time hiking. Like you can hike down there, and you could hike down and to the other side, and like we were walking by ourselves, and then there was like a tour group at one of these lookout spots. So we kind of stopped and listened to their spiel for a little bit. They were talking about some history of the Grand Canyon and stuff, and there was a lot of cool stuff about it. But I don't know, with kids, like I'm not hiking down there.
Oh God, no.
The kids, like we're walking along, and so on the lookout points where you're kind of out, like right up against it, like there's fencing and railings and stuff, and no one's getting through it without climbing over it, right? But like just the paths, like we're on this like just a very mundane, pretty level, paved like walking path, and there's no railing, and if you step off the concrete like 4 feet, it's just death.
Yeah.
No railing, nothing. So I had to keep telling the kids, like, nope, you got to walk on this side of me because you guys are idiots.
Don't fall in the giant hole, please.
Yes, please. Please don't fall down that 200-foot ravine.
It's like the 300. They just go down that hole.
Yeah.
God.
Yes. So
anything with kids is a little stressful, but yeah, I wouldn't trust mine walking that, I don't think.
Then the drive from... I really underestimated the drive from the Grand Canyon to my parents. If I regret anything about that trip, it's setting myself
How
for
many
that.
hours?
I think it ended up being like 6 or something.
Good God.
and it like, you don't realize this, but Arizona is like, there's a lot of mountains in Arizona.
6 hours.
We've taken longer trips. It's not like the end of the world, but like we're going along, and then it's pouring down rain, and we're going through these mountains. The speed limit is 75 miles an hour, even through the mountains. So everybody's doing 80. It's raining. At least the kids are back there playing with tablets, and they're pretty quiet. But yeah, it was kind of it wasn't like super bad until we got to like Phoenix and Tucson because the traffic.
Yeah.
Because it was just a Friday afternoon by the time we got there. Like I think we were in Phoenix, and the traffic was like stop and go on the interstate for an hour. And,
it's miserable.
And I called my dad, and he was I don't know, he's at like the store or something, and I'm like, how do you guys even live anywhere near this debacle?
Does he just not go
He just
anywhere?
laughed. He just laughed at me. He's like, well, it's not that bad where I'm at. I said, I know, but man, if you have to go up to Tucson or Phoenix for anything, like, this is unbearable. We're so lucky.
Yeah, I don't know how those big cities like L.A. and I don't know how they do that.
L.A. Like, no, I don't know that I'll ever go to L.A.
Oh, no, I don't know. Does
I can handle I just don't think I can handle the traffic.
No.
But after that, I mean, after the drive, the trip was pretty good. We spent a week down with my parents, and when we're down with them, like they're at least helping to watch the kids and stuff. So
Yeah.
Get a little time to relax.
Did you golf?
I played some golf. Played a couple really nice courses.
Just you and your dad, or?
Yeah, we played. So me and the old man played by ourselves at this course in Tucson at a casino. Pretty nice place. I made the tee time like a month before we got there, and then I had to change the number of people on it. So I tried to figure out how to do it online. I couldn't do it online. Then I tried to call them, and all of the phone numbers were not working. So
did anything work in this state?
And so so eventually, like they had put a message up there about a different number to call because their phone system was down. And what happened? So we walk in the pro shop, and there's a sign that says, due to like technical difficulties, you have to pay cash. There's an ATM in the bar, and I'm thinking, these sons of bitches, they just want that ATM fee.
They don't want, yeah.
Nope, they got hacked. This casino got hacked.
There's been a lot of that lately.
And they had to shut down their entire like technology. They didn't have phones, internet. Their whole system was shut down.
What a nightmare.
Oh my God. The guy was the people in the clubhouse were nice though. Like they actually they shaved like $5 off to cover the ATM fees or whatever. But what a nightmare to have to deal with that. That was a fun place to play. We played one other time. The other place we played with two of his buddies, and it was one of the toughest courses I've played. It was a pretty difficult place to play. It was fun though. It was just like, it was kind of sort of in the mountains a little bit, and it was.
It'd be pretty.
It was a lot of fun. But yeah, we had a good time. The wife and I got away one day, did Top Golf and whatnot, and it was a good time.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Can't get over 6 hours of driving. That's just hilarious.
Actually, like the hours like in my head don't seem that long, but it was still like, it was like 2.5 or 3 from the Vegas airport to the hotel.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why I was thinking it was less, but no, it was a lot. I didn't think it would be that bad. I should have figured out a way to go around Phoenix and Tucson. I mean, there was just so much just terrible stop and go traffic. It was unbelievable, really.
Well, you got a story at least.
Yeah.
That's good.
Kids enjoyed it. They had a lot of fun, so can't really complain too much.
I didn't even know it snowed there like that. Like,
I guess I didn't either. My dad mentioned, he said like the weather's pretty unpredictable up there. I mean, it is sort of, at a higher elevation around there, and it's still pretty early in the year. So
you didn't see anybody crossing the border, the wide open border down there?
No, not personally, but like my parents, they see
That's like the hub of it, isn't it? Right
Border Patrol helicopters go over their property all the time.
Yeah, they gotta be careful.
They're actually not that far from the border. Like when we go, there's a place where they go shopping, and it is
maybe Bruce works for the cartel.
It is. It's just like all these like it's mostly just stuff from Mexico.
Yeah.
But it's it's desert type decor and different shops and whatnot. But when it takes them like 25-30 minutes to get there, and on their way back from there, there's a checkpoint that they have to go through.
Really?
Yep.
That'd be a little.
Yeah. Fun
scary,
fact about where they live. I guess at some point in the past, somebody thought that the U.S. was going to go to the metric system. And so where my parents are at, it's all in kilometers. The mile. It's not mile markers. It's kilometer markers. And
that would be a mind fuck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and it never panned out. But now it's just like all of the distance markers.
So they're just stuck in
kilometers.
Interesting.
So.
Oh well, yeah. Nothing. I didn't do much. We've been.
Sounds like you guys just been
battling this sickness. The whole family got it, and finally coming back to life. But it was rough.
JD probably brought it home from work.
Yeah, with the hooligans she hangs out with. But been watching a lot. Having a good time with basketball. That's all that was on TV. So
yeah.
I've been more into the women's, and I never thought I'd say that in my entire life. I mean, it's just because of Caitlin Clark, obviously, but
I watched a lot of the first 2 rounds, the round of 64, round of 32 for the men, and man, I don't know why I am surprised by it, but Iowa State, they just rip my heart out all the time.
I thought they'd win that one. Maybe it's a blessing. Did you see what UConn has been doing? I mean,
I had these thoughts in my head of them beating UConn to get back of last time UConn won the national title, back when Yang hurt his foot against UConn. Yeah. I thought like, oh, this is going to be the redemption. I mean, I knew that Illinois was good, But I didn't think that we would.
They started so bad in that
Yeah,
game.
Iowa State starts terrible.
They're playing catch up the whole time.
And they were making they were taking terrible shots. They missed like easy layups.
Yeah, their offense was brutal.
The fact that it was as close as it was, like the score was closer than what the game really looked like.
Yeah, it never felt like they were going to win. But
yeah,
going into it, I picked them. I
Yeah.
really thought they would, but
it's all right.
But
Ruins my bracket. I couldn't, in good conscience. Like, I thought the team was really good, and did I really think they were going to win a national title? No. But if they did, and I didn't pick them to, that's just.
If they were in any other bracket, I probably would have put them in the Final Four. UConn, they are just.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as dominant a team as I've seen in college.
Yeah. I'm really hoping they lose.
I don't see it, how that would happen.
So, did I tell you about the random, like, fundraiser bracket that I'm in?
Huh. Oh, yeah, you did, I think.
So, this thing
where you
was...
just pick a team or something? Or...
No. You don't get to pick anything. You pay $20.
Or that's, yeah.
And you get basically a scratch-off lottery ticket.
That's right, you did
that
tell
has
me.
4 teams. And I forgot about it until after the round of 32. And so my 4 teams were Alabama, Clemson, Purdue, and Tennessee. So they all four made the Elite 8.
Yeah.
And
you would get a good card like that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And so, like, they have the standings online, and I'm currently in first.
But whoever is UConn.
Yeah, so that's the question, right? So, like, and this is different because it doesn't go off of who makes it the farthest. It's the scores from the game, right? So, like, however many points Bama scored, Clemson scored, Purdue scored, whatever, that total is my score.
Okay.
Right? And so the top 10 right now, I cannot lose to. Just because I have 2 teams left and, like, I at best have the same 2 teams as other people. There's someone in, like, 11th or 12th that has what do they have? I think they have Bama and UConn. So, like, there's a couple ways it could go where it could not work out in my favor, but
Jeez.
it's looking pretty good. And so now I'm like rooting for, teams that aren't going to do anything. Like, man, like upset of the century, like NC State, because that's who UConn has, right?
No. UConn has Alabama, and Purdue plays NC State.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the final would be pretty good with Purdue and UConn. They're all those 2 big guys going at it. But
Yeah.
I still think UConn's quite a bit better. But
Yeah, probably. So.
You never know, I guess. I didn't, on the women's side, I underestimated my cousin, Caitlin Clark. I didn't think they'd, I kind of thought they'd lose to Colorado even. And they're just playing well.
They're, you're betting on a team where, like, there's a lot of good players on that team, but you know that they go as Caitlin goes.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Put her on any of these other teams, I think that would be the dominant team. I mean, she's literally the only like.
That's a big what if though, right? Because like she's really good, but is she really that good? Would she have ever turned out to be that good if she?
Well, she wouldn't have the
somewhere
same stats, but
not the same stats. She wouldn't have the same staff, the same team members. She wouldn't have the same opportunities.
She wouldn't be as big a star. I know that. Just she's just a really good, like smart player. And I don't know. Hopefully they can win tomorrow.
Yeah,
if they somehow do, I don't see how they would beat that South Carolina team. Although they did last year, but
anything's possible.
Possible.
Yeah, but that's tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow,
So
that's going to be hard
4.
enough. I mean, that's UConn, but yeah, UConn and NC State Final 4 in men and women.
That's weird, especially for the men.
Yeah,
but I thought that most of the men's tournament, the stuff that I've watched, it looked good. I mean, it was a good.
Yeah, there were a few good ones.
Yeah, pretty disappointed in Iowa State, but I thought that it's like every year, you can't. It's really hard to predict this stuff. Like it's mostly random.
Oh Yeah.
I mean, like, you know that you have to. There's going to be some upsets,
It's like-
but it's impossible to really pick those.
To which ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, these brackets all of them are a mess. You just got to hope to have. If you have your final four, a couple of those, you got a chance.
Was it like it was like the Wednesday night before the game started, and Mia's like, "Oh, I'm doing a bracket for work. It's a men's and women's bracket. Can you help me put it together?" I'm like, "Sure, I guess." And that was the last I heard of it. And then, so she didn't ever actually get my help, and then so she just did it herself. And I looked at her bracket. I'm like, "This is terrible." She didn't have like any 1 seeds in the 1 or 2 seeds. She had like
All
a 3 seed
upsets.
winning it. And then then like after like a couple days, she was doing actually pretty well. I'm like, God damn it.
Well, it's better than mine.
It's fucking random bullshit. And she's going to pick a fucking winner.
Really, just have AI do it and see what. I mean, the odds are like lottery. If you.
Yeah. I wonder if anybody did that. Like, just like, you think that like AI could look at all of the information and stats?
I think
throughout
that
the
was
year?
a feature on ESPN. Is to have their AI do it. I didn't, because I obviously much smarter than AI. Oh, I don't trust those machines.
God.
But yeah, I really haven't even looked at it. I know it's not
I haven't
good.
looked at it since Iowa
but
State lost. There's a couple other losses that I thought were pretty surprising. That kind of screwed up the bracket, but I don't know.
Well, the Kentucky, I'm sure that killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
Some of that though is just, it's like just a bias from prior years, because like I don't know that Kentucky's really been all that good this year.
No, they had 10 losses. I'm not sure how they were a 3 seed or whatever.
Yeah,
And they're always so young. They kind of just choke. Like they never have the experience. Well, I shouldn't say never.
It's
but
like one and done.
recently. Yeah.
Usually. I really thought Iowa State should have been a 1 seed. I know that they didn't.
I thought they'd get actually over Carolina, but
I don't know, man. You beat Houston.
yeah, that
It
was
was like
an
the number
impressive
1
game.
team in the country, or like top 5 team in the country the entire year. You beat them twice in the year.
And won by 30 or something. The
Oh
championship.
yeah, and it probably hurt them. It might have hurt them that they actually won by that much, because they might just think, oh well, Houston just had a really down and off game, right? But it wasn't even like close.
Yeah, no, we were out for that game. I just kept peeking at it. I could not believe that score. That was a beatdown.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm hoping UConn and Purdue, just because I want to see those giants go at it. That E
Yeah.
and the UConn guy, but it's got it. I think UConn's got it.
Well, I certainly need Purdue to win. Because
NC State, I keep even when I'm watching them, like they're not that good, but they keep winning. They got that giant human that's like 6'7", DJ Burns, I think his name is. And there's NFL scouts looking at him for left tackle.
I saw that.
Because he's like 6'7", 3, whatever, and he can move.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's huge. I don't know how he gets up and down the court.
Slowly and with a lot of momentum.
Oh, what else is happening in the world of sport? Oh, we could touch on the Shohei thing, Ohtani.
Oh man, that is a good topic. Did you see?
What do you
you see
think he's lying?
Oh yeah, I assume they're always all lying. Did you see that thing where Pete Rose was like, "Man, I wish I had an interpreter."
Yeah.
Either way, it's a crazy story, right? So, somebody has been gambling millions on presumably baseball and all kinds of other stuff. It was either Shohei, a Japanese pitcher that comes over and plays in the Major League Baseball, is doing it, or his interpreter is doing it with Shohei's money. And the idea that Shohei just like paid the bookie off to cover the debts is just such a ridiculous.
First of all, this gives hope for bookies around the world that like that's a big time bookie. Like who?
Yeah.
Like why not just go through DraftKings or something, right? Or
Well, I assume that like when
don't-
you're connected to like a pro athlete, you probably don't want to go through a completely legal and option where it like knows who you are. But I don't know. A guy like I find it really hard to believe that Shohei, who is signed the biggest contract in sports history, is messing around with a bookie. Like it really is unbelievable.
So I assume his buddy's fine just taking the dive for him. I mean,
may not have a choice
because he made it sound like he's like mad at him, like he took money without me knowing or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be interesting to know the true story, right? Like,
so everyone says $4.5 million, ton of money, I know, but for him, is it?
No.
I mean, would he maybe not notice that being?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Look, I don't know that someone like that necessarily has the finger on the pulse of their checking account balance all the time.
That's what I mean. Like
it's not that like they would not miss $4.5 million. Like it's not a lot of money to them, but it would just be, it would be like, I mean, like, could you tell me right now to the penny how many dollars is in your checking account?
No.
Right? I couldn't either. I could tell you like approximately, but I wouldn't be able to tell you like.
It'd be like me missing $30.
Yeah. It's not even. I don't even think it's that. I think it's probably closer to like a few dollars.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like any one of us. Like if like $4.50 went. We're just. It's not even that they were missing. It's just that you just didn't even realize necessarily that it was there.
It was there. Yeah.
You know. Because it's not like he's every day logs on and
check his bank statement.
He's sure as shit. He's not like me where every day he gets on Quicken and like he's like looking at receipts and counting shit. No, he pays people for that. So it wouldn't surprise me, I guess, if like he was just misappropriated $4 million.
He gets paid way more per hit than than that. Oh,
see, the thing is it's like. I don't even know.
It also really does not bother me. I know it's supposed to.
It doesn't.
Now, if he was fixing the game, like
I think betting on your own sport is a little dumb. Like I think
it's dumb, and I thought
a bad move.
When the interpreter took the dive, I thought he said that that it was other sports. I don't know.
I haven't. I honestly
I
don't know for sure, but.
And he's like, I'm really bad, and I'm really bad
obviously.
gambler.
Well, I mean, we all.
The memes have been great though, but like they showed Ohtani at like a basketball game, like looking nervous as hell, and they're like, "That's the look of the man who has a lot of money on a 3-team parlay that's about to blow up." They're like, "That's the most incriminating photo right there."
It's true though.
Yeah, I my gut tells me it was him, but it doesn't bother me. It didn't bother me. Pete Rose. That doesn't bother me there either.
No, when Pete, he admitted he bet, but he was betting on his own team to win.
Yeah, at least to win.
You know,
I know you can't do it, but I think the punishment was a little harsh. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
but
still a great player.
They knew the punishment. He knows the punishment.
And this one he was a coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the rules.
Yeah.
Now, should it be the rule? Probably not, but whatever. These guys, like, it's one thing to gamble, but you're going to gamble on your own sport? Like, that's just leading to
It's stupid.
Conflict.
Yeah, it is stupid. But.
I'm reading this book, and I read a lot of it, actually, when I was down in Arizona because I had a bunch of time. But have you ever heard of Billy Walters? Big time sports gambler.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I know that.
And so he wrote a book.
I don't know a lot about him, but I know the name.
I didn't really know that much about him either, but it's like his life story. And it is...
Was it like the saddest book ever?
No, there's a lot of sadness, but there's a lot of fucking awesomeness too. I mean, the guy, like, in the grand scheme of things, the guy made a lot of money. He won. A lot of it was in sports betting and stuff, but he talks about, like, gambling on the golf course. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars.
That's like Michael Jordan, what he did, I think.
Sometimes I gamble with my buddies, and like the most
we know you're.
the most I've ever had. This is like when we were in North Carolina, and I think there was like we played a little higher stakes than I normally play, and I think there was like one point where we're on like the 17th or 18th hole, and been drinking all day, and I've got like a 5-foot putt for like $50. And it's like
your knees start rattling.
Yeah. But like most of the time, like when I gamble with my buddies, it's like we're playing like $1 a hole or like a couple bucks a hole, and you get those, like, you get the nerves when you have a putt that you have to make for for $5, $10, $15, a bunch of skins. I just can't even begin to imagine putting.
I assume they're.
And like, and in the book, they talks about like, it's not like he was just always flush with money.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Like he would put, like he'd lose his entire bankroll in a night. Like he used to drink and gamble.
The thrill of it.
Yeah, he would get drunk and he would, gamble away all his money. He would win money somewhere and then he'd get drunk. And
we should do that. Maybe that thrill's what we've been chasing our whole life.
That's not a thrill I want. I don't want to even come anywhere near touching what this guy went through. But
I'm gonna put my entire bank account on Yukon. That's the only way they lose.
What's a win? You like $15? They got to be some serious favorites at this point.
That's true.
Oh man.
Yeah, I lay 10,000 to win like 1,000.
You see those sometimes where it's like someone bet like they're betting like $1,000 to win a couple bucks.
Yeah,
and you're just like, oh, you're just
that's sick.
Vegas loves you.
Yeah, that's sick. That is a real sickness.
Vegas is like, I'll take those all day long.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a lock, really.
No. There isn't. I've seen some crazy stuff, and I've fallen victim to that in like some like live in-game betting.
Yeah.
Where like you lose one side of it, and you're like, well, I'll just go big with the so and so here because they're obviously going to win this, and then it completely changes everything.
Billy Walt, is he still doing it to this day?
He just got, well, I don't know.
Or is he dead?
No, I don't think he's dead. He went to prison. You remember when Phil Mickelson got into some trouble, like in the last 10 years about insider trading?
Yeah.
Billy Walters was involved in that. Not really, but like
he sounds like just. I can almost picture what he looks like. He's greasy.
Yeah.
Pinky ring.
Probably.
I pretty just described my Italian family.
Yeah, it's a pretty good book. It talks about Phil Mickelson, and it gives like the whole rundown on some of, like he says that Phil, prior to this would have been I can't remember what year it was, but a couple Ryder Cups ago, when it was in the U.S. He says Phil called him up before that and said, I'm feeling really good about this. Can you put a bet? It was like several $100,000 bet on the U.S. to win. Like, so Phil, like he's saying, like Phil was trying to gamble on golf while he was playing golf.
Isn't that like illegal?
Yeah, but this is just one side of it. Phil's never come out and said that. This is just him saying that. But like he was saying, like he used to, play some golf with Phil, and they, gamble. And he said him and Phil had this gambling partnership because Billy has this problem where he would win enough that like bookies wouldn't let him bet enough, right? Because he's a sharp, right? So he has all these people that lay bets for him, right? So he can get more money out there. But guys like Phil, he could partner with Phil like 50-50, and Phil has access to bigger max bets. And so, but he's like, he has to tell Phil, like, you can never tell anybody that I'm betting with you, because if they know that, you're getting your information from me. They won't take your bets and all this stuff. Like, he's pretty conceited about how good he thinks he is at gambling. But yeah, like he used to say, he used to bet with him all the time, and it was kind of funny. Like, he had the dirt on Phil. He's really pissed because Billy went to jail from that whole thing because they basically, I think they pinned him on like money laundering.
Yeah.
And all Phil had to do was like speak at his trial and tell the truth about what it was or whatever, and he wouldn't have gone to jail. But Phil just pled the fifth or whatever, or something.
Phil's
like
kind of a scumbag.
He is. There's no kind of about it.
I used to really like him.
He's a character, but dude, don't confuse it. He's a scumbag.
Oh.
Yeah, he was pretty addicted, I think, to gambling. Probably still is.
Probably still is. I don't think he's got enough money now. Well, he's always, but now he really does.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's always had a lot of money, but he gambles a lot. I wouldn't be
now he's
surprised
got that
if he's
Saudi
lost a lot of
oil money. That's different kind of money. We got Masters coming up.
Yeah.
It's your favorite week?
Yeah, so that
Did
is...
you see Tiger gave up sex?
I don't... Look, Tiger's best years, he was traveling the country, running through every Perkins Village Inn and Waffle House, and he was dominating golf.
I feel like he needs to get back to doing that. Just
I think he's got
the problem.
He's either lying or he just doesn't have, or he's like limited it to certain... I just can't imagine that he's like thinking like he needs to be that focused.
I'd also like to say, why did he tell people this? Did he tell?
I almost wonder if this isn't like one of those like fake accounts that gets taken serious and it just gets run with, because what's he saying? Who's he telling this to? Like, he's like the most private person ever.
I'm sure his son loves hearing that his dad's abstaining from Perkins waitresses and Twin Peaks waitresses so he can win a major.
He's just passing them off to his son. Look, Tiger Woods, like, I want to believe that he can come back and play golf. I am done getting excited about it until he actually plays 4 rounds of golf.
Yeah,
he played in the Genesis, and like, yes, supposedly it was because he ate some bad taco or some bad Five Guys or whatever it was. And
explosive diarrhea scratched him out of the tournament.
And like, okay, if that's really what it was, fine, but he hasn't played since then, you know.
That was a bad case of diarrhea then.
I'd love to see him win the Masters, but that
TV rating would be
insane. I don't think I just can't get my hopes up for it anymore.
I'm just gonna take Scotty Scheffler because I assume he's gonna win everything.
Yeah, I looked at I was looking at who was invited to the Masters, and did you see? Well, maybe you didn't, but I saw a April Fool's post from one of the golf accounts that I follow, and they had written a piece about the the Augusta giving a special invitation to Gooch, so there wouldn't be an asterisk. And I at first glance, like, I read it and I was like, oh,
I hate April Fool. I fall for all that shit. I do.
I read it. I looked at it. I'm like, this looks legit. So I'm reading this, and then you can tell pretty quickly that they're just joking around. But I was pretty entertained by that and all. But
the Gooch will never live that down.
No, he won't. He really.
And it's a memorable. You're not going to forget his name.
Yeah,
Gooch.
Taking it out of context, probably, but like he probably regretted it as soon as it was posted. But I was looking through all the players in the Masters, kind of their odds and stuff, and golf is such a hard thing to bet on.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a lottery ticket deal, you put a couple bucks on someone to win, and like,
I usually wait till Sunday the odds aren't as good.
They go down. You lose value quite a bit, but you have a better idea. Chance. Scotty's the favorite. He's the odds-on favorite, and he's still plus 500.
Then Rahm, I assume, is up there.
Rahm is up
and
there.
Brooks.
Yeah, Rory's up there. Some of these guys, the problem you have, right? Like Scotty Scheffler at plus 500. Yeah, he's the favorite. Those are still terrible odds.
Yeah.
Because you're paying. Vegas knows that you saw him win 2 out of the last 3 tournaments and
should have won that other.
Should have won the third.
Yeah.
So like they know that you have him as a favorite, right? So plus 500 is nuts. Rory is plus 1,000, and he is only getting that because it's the last one he needs for a career Grand Slam.
Grand Slam.
So Vegas knows that people will bet him just to bet him. He hasn't played great this year.
I don't really like him.
The best shots are just to take long shots. Like if you're gonna bet someone to win, like at least make the odds worth your while.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger is in that boat. Phil is in that boat. Guys like Ricky Fowler. Like how great would it be for him to come away with his first major and it'd be the Masters?
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of come along. Any of the live guys really like. Koepka's a good bet. Dustin Johnson, he's won there before. But it's a hard thing to bet on. I like to do, you can do like some of like the top 10 stuff or make the cut. If the app will let me do like parlaying, make the cut bets, I'll do that stuff.
Yeah.
That's fun. Like if you can pick like 4 or 5 guys to make the cut. But I don't know what I'll do. I will say I got just like an hour ago, got the email on the Masters pool. If you want, I'll forward that to you. But it's like let me look up the email. But it's $10 an entry. Last year's winner made like $2,700.
Jesus.
So it pays out. So how it works is you select. You're going to select 6 golfers, and your best 4 scores will count. You have to pick one from these tiers, and the tiers are all odds based. So the favorites are in one tier, and then it's tiered out like that. And so you essentially have to pick from all different spots of like the different odds.
So some people could have the same 4 golf or 6
Oh
golf.
yeah, you certainly could. Like you have to put a tiebreaker in there.
Yeah.
And so you get the payout works like this. So all 4 rounds, $100 goes to the lowest score. So like whoever wins that day gets $100.
Okay.
First place gets 50% of the remaining pot. Second place gets 25%. Third gets 15%. Fourth gets 7%. Fifth gets 3%. And so just depends on how many people join and how much this guy probably like cheats the system and takes for himself.
Do you know this guy?
Nope, never met him. Now he does use like this website.
You're in a lot of these shady pools of people you don't know.
No, this is the same guy. It's all the same guy.
It's all the same.
It's just me. He's just getting my $10.
He's got an empire.
He goes through this website like Easy Office Pools.
Oh yeah, I'm in one for football, like a Survivor League of football with that.
And so like you see all the entries, right? So I mean, I guess theoretically, like you would look and see. I guess if you won and he just robbed you, at least then you would know, like, oh yeah, this was totally fake. But it's probably
he's done it long enough.
He's probably like I bet he's putting in more entries. You're supposed to do a max of 3, but like he's probably throwing as much as he wants in, and just whatever. Who knows? I'll forward you the email.
Yeah, forward me. What do you just Venmo the guy?
Yeah, he gives his Venmo here. You just Venmo. You fill the form out, and you give it a name when you enter it, and then you just send him the name with your $10 or whatever.
All right.
We could split it. We could do a couple different entries, and then just if we win anything, just split it.
That's fine with me.
Probably the better way to go.
So
spread it out. Yeah, you can do up to.
Who's
3
your
entries
tier?
a
Is it a secret, or who's your not tier? Your picks.
I don't know. Like golf's just so hard to bet. I never do well in this though.
You're not Billy Walters. I mean,
no.
That's what he would do.
I don't know that he would bet that much on golf. I think he has a little bit, but that book is nuts. So I'm towards the end of it, and he has like 2 or 3 chapters where he just runs through like how he does his NFL betting system, about how he basically has a system. Now he has a business, so he has people that help him out do this stuff, but like he handicaps it, and he basically builds his own spread. Like, he has a model that says like if the quarterback is injured on depending on the type of offense or whatever, it's this many points, and like so he's like building his own spread. So he looks at 2 games, and if he thinks it's the Bears -5, and Vegas has it as the Bears -9, like he's gonna load up on the other side of it, because he thinks like so it has nothing to do with like who the team is. He just has certain differences, and he goes in as far as to say like depending on the number. So like there's a different value for a spread of -3 than there is of a spread that's -4, just because of how the statistics of how scores end up. So he's got this whole thing, and I'm just thinking like I was like halfway into the chapter, the first of the 2 or 3 chapters, and I was like, this is just too much. This is why I'll never be good at gambling.
This guy's
because
brilliant.
I can't put this much time into it. But yeah,
he must be pretty good with like, probably not a stupid guy.
No, I would bet that he very easily could have been anything inside of like data
something
or
that
statistics.
contributed to society.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that'd be a good book. Is it on audio?
Probably. But yeah, the Masters coming up, and
excuse me.
It's just, I don't know. Like the majors are always fun to watch. So I
do love the majors. I that's enjoyable.
I'll be watching.
Something about the Masters was like nostalgia. Remember watching it growing up.
We were supposed to go to Colorado. It would have been freaking next week, but
couldn't find a car to rent.
No. Mia rolled her ankle pretty bad in our garage.
She was walking fine a minute ago.
She had to we had to take her to get an X-ray. She's been on crutches.
Jesus
Christ. So we were going to Colorado.
The old rolled her ankle in the garage story. You did say
you joked about that.
You did say you and her got away for a day in Arizona.
I told her just tell the doctor you ran into the door. No, she's
thinking maybe you lifted and twisted her too much.
No.
I injured her once like that. Okay. Just kidding, man.
No, I don't know what she was doing. She was out in the garage, like getting stuff ready to go somewhere, and she like stepped off the step wrong and rolled her ankle.
What a scene!
Yeah. And so my sister
did you laugh?
I wasn't there. Okay. My sister was in town, so the kids were like hanging out with my sister, and so she was gonna go do her book club, and then I was gonna I just had like the afternoon to myself. I think I was going to sit down here and watch Tango and Cash or something. And
your wife ruined it.
Just ruined my day. And then all of a sudden she's like getting ready. I'm in the living room watching something, and I hear her yell, and like she's not a fan of like spiders and stuff. So I just thought she was young because there was a bug.
Yeah.
So I just kind of ignored it. Then she comes hobbling. She
has a compound fracture. You're just.
She comes hobbling in the house. She somehow gets herself inside, and she's like, I think I may have broken my ankle. I'm like, what do you mean?
Know why I'm laughing like that.
Well, that's because it's funny, and but I got this whole afternoon planned.
You're like, but Ray Tango's just about to kill somebody. I can't go now. Give me an hour and a half.
Just hang on.
Shh. I need to see if Cash bangs his sister. Not his sister, Tango's sister. Oh.
So yeah, we ended up spending a couple hours having to go to the urgent care. Nothing was broken, but I think pretty bad sprain.
Yeah,
to stay off of it for a couple weeks, but yeah, we were supposed to go, but she canceled the Colorado trip because she can't go skiing.
Oh yeah.
Although, thought about it, she's like, I don't know, a couple weeks, I'm like, all right, well, yeah, I'm thinking like, well, don't screw it up for the entire year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're not gonna go do that. So that means that I won't be in Colorado for the Masters. I will be at home. I'll be able to actually watch it. So that'll be good.
Are you sure you didn't push her?
It was all my plan.
You're like,
I didn't push her, but I dropped a can of oil on the stairs.
you're like, honey, Tiger's not having sex. He might win this one. You gotta watch.
Sorry, I got better things to do. Just to...
Oh, that's great. All right, time for our movie review.
Tango
The classic.
and Cash.
Stallone and Russell. It doesn't get much better duo.
I'll be honest, I'd never seen it before.
Really?
I'd heard of it. I'd seen memes. I knew a little bit about it. Never watched it all the way through.
It'd been a while, and I remember it being better than it was. Like, all that came, I was like, it's so bad that it's good. Like, it's just...
I try to like put myself back in 1989 and think like, were they trying to be bad, or did they think this was good? Because these movies we've been watching,
I kind of think they thought it was.
We've watched a few of these from like the late
Good.
80s, early 90s, and they all have a theme where today they look ridiculous.
I think it's just like alpha males in horrible situations that they're so alpha they just kind of joke about it. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, it feels like if our group text got together and made a movie, like, it might be one of these. It might look a little bit like this.
like if I was set up by a mob for a murder, I would not be joking in the courtroom. I would be horrified.
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna say it's like I'm on repeat, but it's so
Yeah,
bad.
maybe we need
that
to
it's
change
good.
genres. I don't know.
We have to change the year of these
Maybe
movies.
we should do Schindler's List next or something.
I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh at that.
Oh, but yeah, it was.
I mean, just like it's over the top, which is
Another
movie.
Another great one. Stallone was just cranking them out.
is just completely over the top from the very beginning. I mean,
Yeah.
like
5 minutes in.
5 minutes in, Stallone is driving a Cadillac and he's cutting in front of a semi truck, and then he pulls out this like
A puny
a
gun.
little tiny gun.
It looked like a 22 or something. Like it was.
And then he dumps all the bullets out,
Mm-hmm.
presumably to get bigger bullets. Now, I don't own a gun, and I don't pretend
I'm not an expert on firearms.
to be an expert
but
on them. But isn't there like
certain rounds that you need.
isn't that how it works? Like,
Yeah, I
I
thought.
mean, I guess maybe you can get some that are. I know there's like hollow point, hollow tips. Maybe there's some that are just.
Which leads to the question:
full lead,
why didn't he
whatever.
just have those in there anyway?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, why did he need to switch?
Just so he could do the whole show of
Probably.
dumping them out.
And then it didn't even do anything because he shot the front windshield, which must have been bulletproof.
Yeah. And then afterwards, right when I knew I was in for a great movie, the bad guy says we got someone who thinks he's Rambo over here.
Favorite line in the movie.
Rambo's a fucking pussy, is what he said.
Rambo is a pussy. Stallone
So
says
what year
it.
was that? It had to be within 2 years of Rambo? 5 years maybe?
I don't know exactly when Rambo
That was about,
made,
what,
but
89,
This
90?
was 89, so...
So Rambo was early 80s, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of during that whole Rambo's a pussy.
That was it was a good line.
It was.
I just there's so much in this movie. Like I took some notes on some different things, and like it is just that's a great line. Rambo's a pussy, and just the characters in it. And then like right after like Stallone like stops this fuel truck, and like they're looking around and they can't. It's just fuel, sir.
Oh yeah.
And then he just shoots a fuel truck.
Yeah, he's so confident that there's just pure cut heroin or cocaine in there. What was it? Something like that?
Yeah, it was. I think it was supposed to be cocaine. It was obviously just sand. Like it was sand. Like,
if we tried to do something cool like that, it would actually be fuel and blow up the entire.
no, it would just bounce off of it and hit us in the face. But it was just so ridiculous of a moment. And then as that's all like going down, the cops are there. Then here comes this limo with like the 3 like axis of evil bosses. Like they're all just in this limo.
It's like the deep state in this limo. Yeah.
It's just too much. You know, it was great though.
And Kurt Russell's character, just a wild. Like I love they made Tango be more of the buttoned up.
I didn't know
professional with his glasses and suits.
I didn't know we live, or I didn't know that we are friends with Cash.
Yeah, Asher is. That is him as a cop. That's.
When he shows up, it is like, oh god, it's the same thing. It's just too much. Then like he gets out, he gets almost shot by the guy while he's looking in the mirror, which is just hilarious. And he gets his gun. And the laser sight for his gun is bigger than his gun.
Yes.
It's like, does it really help that much if the laser sight is like...
It was like a cartoon laser gun. Like, yeah, that was ridiculous.
It's like... It's like a 1 foot section of a 4x4. Like,
it looked like something the Roadrunner would shoot Wile E. Coyote with.
It was the most ridiculous
thing. It was just insane.
Oh god. I mean, and maybe that's just how big they were back then. I don't know.
I don't think so.
It looked ridiculous. I mean, they made it a long ways on laser sights between 1989 and like 1996 when you could get the little gold laser pointers from Spencer's Gifts. Yeah. You know, those like the size of your pinky. We're talking about 5 years. The technology just totally fucking changed.
God. And I love how, like, are there really celebrity cops like this? Like, they made it sound like Tango handled the east side. Cash took down the west side. And the mob bosses just had to get rid of these 2 cops and they'd be fine.
Yeah,
like there's no other cops that could stop these drugs.
How terrible are you at the drug business when you have 2 individual cops that are fucking wrecking your life?
I mean, they made it seem like this is simple. If we get rid of these 2 guys, like nobody else could stop them.
Do you think El Chapo cared about like 2 fucking detectives in the east and west side of LA?
No, and El Chapo would have just killed them. He would not have taken the time to frame them for a murder.
Certainly would not. How about
the prison scenes were great.
How about when Cash? So like he's chasing the guy at the very beginning. He's chasing the guy through the parking structure, right? And like just out of nowhere, this is like middle of the day. You can tell there's like sunlight out. Middle of the day. And then there's just like some guy and a chick like getting it on and in the back of a car in a parking structure in the middle of the day. Only tits in the movie.
Well, me and JD do this often. Oh, God.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a lack of boobs in the movie. That was my only complaint, but... Oh.
The bosses, though, like, they just... Like the white guy, the main boss.
He's in something. He's been in a lot. I mean, I know he's dead now, but he always plays like a really bad dude. He's got that voice.
What's the significance of him having these rats?
The rats.
And then like he's just like into the rats, kissing the rats.
He was damn near like sucking on them.
And then he like puts him in. He's got like a rat maze table.
I want that bar. That was my thought when I'm like, that is a fucking.
You want to get a bar that's a maze and you put some rats in it?
Yeah. Do you know the drunk bets we could do with this?
Be like, you know what you should do? All right, forget the rat maze because that like feels like a lot of work. But what about like a bar that's a fish tank?
I thought about that.
And you could put betas in there and you just fight betas.
Piranhas.
Yes. Why not both?
I've actually thought about a bar with a fish tank, but that would. God, the cleaning would be a bitch. I don't know.
It's just like it was kind of. There's a pretty creepy part of the movie. Like he just starts like making love to
Making love, and he's
then
names them Tango and Cash, and
maybe that was the significance. He's secretly in love with Tango and Cash.
then towards the end of the movie, he brings those fuckers back out, starts making out with them again. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
The prison scene, there's some funny fight scene when they're like electrocuting them, hanging them over that water. Remember that?
Yeah, the whole
that's quite a
thing
setup.
Is like a bit much, right? Like,
and then
now,
the bad
I realize
guy,
there might be some corruption in prison.
Yeah, I don't know if they have
a
torture chamber set up. Maybe they do.
They were somehow, first of all, they roll into prison and everything's just on fucking fire. There's a riot going on as they put them in prison.
Yeah, papers flying everywhere.
Feels a little unbelievable.
Especially in an American, prison, maybe.
I mean, I get there's probably some corruption around, but I assume that's mostly on bribes and...
There is, but I don't think you walk in and things are visibly on fire. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's probably not happening. But also, like, there's enough corruption there that like half the prison just gets to get out and throw Tango and Cash down a laundry chute.
Yeah.
And then the half the prison's down there to fight them. And it takes a good majority of them to take them down and like, put them in there for like some of the worst electrocution action, ever.
And then like the final boss of bad guys was that guy with the giant jaw. Remember that guy's jaw? That looked like a cartoon. It looked like Buzz Lightyear.
Who's sneaking into prison? Like these bosses, these criminal bosses who are afraid of going to prison because of Tango and Cash.
Yeah, where's the door to get in?
Yeah. Like, who's letting spectators in for the prison fights?
I guess the assumption is they're so powerful they pay off guards, but I don't.
And then as soon as all of like the good guards show up, they just like
Stop.
fade away into the steam from the laundry room.
It just gets darker and darker, and they fade out of the scene. Yeah. And then that one cop that knew Cash or Tango or Cash, I think it was, and he's like, "This is how you guys get out." And he like gave him like blueprints.
Yeah,
remember that guy?
He's like the what's the who runs a prison?
Warden?
He's like an assistant warden or something.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I go way back with this guy."
Yeah, he was his training officer or something, and then like now he's like running his prison. This corrupt fucking prison.
This motherfucker just had blueprints on hand
Yes.
and told them where to go.
Yeah,
to get out.
He's like, "I'll make sure you have the job so you can go do that."
And then the prison escape was a little too quick, a little too easy. They just zip line down an electrical.
Yes, I mean, it can't. I guess it can't all be like super believable because this is
no. I know we're nitpicking
fiction, right?
here,
but like,
have they seen the season of Prison Break? What Michael Scofield had to go
they're
through?
using like their level. They're like using like a belt or something
Yeah.
to zip line, but those lines had way too much slack, and you would have to be way higher on one end than the other. Like it was like a level power line with slack, and they're just somehow sliding along.
It went perfect, according to plan.
No freaking way.
And then once they got out, the movie just spiraled even more ridiculous, if you can believe it. I mean,
why were there no cops looking for them?
And then who was that evil genius with the giant eyeglass that built a bunch of...
I think Cash goes to him. He's like, he works for the LAPD is what I'm getting, I think.
He's like
their tech guy.
I feel like he was like an off-the-books weapons guy.
Yeah.
He just like knew to go to that guy.
I mean, in real life, a couple of high-profile prisoners escape. Like, the U.S. Marshals are going to be all over their family and friends, including what's-his-name's Tango's sister.
Yeah.
And, like, you're just not going to be able to go wandering around the city of L.A. on your own if you just escaped from prison.
No.
And you're famous, you know?
Just wearing wife beaters. Yeah.
Favorite favorite scene in the movie though is when like Cash is getting a massage from Tango's sister, and she's like, I'll put it in and move it. I'll move it around slow
Moving
or whatever.
around like that, and she's like moaning, like,
yes.
By the way, was that Marissa Tomei? I think
I had to look it up. No, you know who that was?
Or,
Not Marissa Tomei.
She looked.
It is
Desperate Housewife girl.
Desperate
I can't remember her
Housewives, the
name.
original show before they did the Real Hot one.
Well, yeah, the show.
I can't think of what her name is either.
The co-star with Ava Longoria. I can't
Yeah,
remember her
yeah.
name, but yeah, I thought she looked familiar.
That was just great because Tango walks in and like obviously thinks the worst, and it looks like the worst, and it's just a innocent like massage or whatever, but it's hilarious. Yeah, just the whole idea of that happening is just.
And then the ending, somehow they got like this futuristic Tesla-looking truck
And also like.
to plow through the
You
enemy.
remember when Cash goes to find Tango's sister, right? And she's at the like strip club,
yeah,
or
the
whatever,
skin joint, yeah.
right? And their way to get out is they dress.
Oh,
Cash
how did I
out, right?
forget that?
Like it is like the worst. No one would ever believe that is a female.
They're like,
He still had a beard,
like,
pretty much.
why does that thing have a jawline like that?
Yeah, it's got a 5 o'clock shadow and a jawline like almost as big as that big jawed guy in prison.
And they always have like a dopey like deputy like who like hit on him. Yeah, I forgot Kurt Russell dressed like that. Oh my god!
There's no way, no human in their right mind would believe that he was a she. It was crazy.
And like, did you really have to do that? He probably could have just walked out. I don't think anybody's really looking that hard. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like pretty like busy inside. Like I didn't think like they like okay, so that was the one spot they sent the cops to look for these guys. They didn't go to her apartment or whatever, which was owned by Tango. Like his name's on the deed. They didn't think that like maybe they go there instead of the strip club full of people.
Or maybe just put like a hat on him. Like, no, put on this dress and fishnet hose.
Yeah, they had a problem. Like they stopped the bicycle helmet person. Like they were all suspicious of that person.
Yeah, but not.
She takes off the helmet. Oh, it's not him.
But they weren't suspicious of the 6'3" woman walking out with a beard. Just a wild scene. Like these directors had to be they had to be drinking during it.
Oh, it's just too much. And then like it gets into like this last like the final boss scene, right, where they're gonna this is where all the big final end fight's gonna happen.
Yeah, they drive that truck in and
like how do this criminal enterprise is able to just buy a major buy an airport,
yeah,
and then turn it into a military base, and like nobody's the wiser. Like, can we do that? Like, if I had enough money right now, like, could we just go buy land and make an airport?
that might be the most realistic part. I bet there's some bad dudes out there.
You think that, like, right now, in America, somewhere in America, there is someone with an airfield and basically a military base.
The shit we've seen the last few years. Diddy is a sex peddler. There was an island with little girls on it, so nothing surprises me. I don't know.
I find it hard to. I mean, like, there's like military type vehicles.
Yeah.
And an army of people, but it's like a private enterprise.
And they got in there with this futuristic
Oh yeah,
vehicle.
It was just it's like a Dodge Ram with a topper on it and a weird windshield.
Yeah. It was. I was getting a little drunk towards the end, just because of the ridiculousness. But
Did you see that there was more of the comically large tired trucks?
yes.
Just a fancy thing that happened back
Now
there.
that I don't believe happens. Like, when's the last time you've seen that ever?
You never see it like there's no practical application for it. It's only used for these monster truck rallies.
Do you think they go to like their kids' conferences in this thing?
Do you imagine pulling it up?
That would be awesome. You
least
just park on the
wherever you
lawn.
want. Yeah. Don't have to wait around these parking lots. I'll just park here. What are you going to do? You going to tow it?
Overall, I enjoyed it. It was an experience, but
did you see that
pretty bad.
What did you think about at the end when they tried to do their version of the handshake, the high five handshake?
Yeah, it looked a little awkward.
Yeah, a little corny, a little awkward. Total rip off.
It was of
Predator,
of Carl Weathers and Schwarzenegger.
Actually, I don't even know when Predator came out. Before or after?
I think
Maybe
it was
Predator
before.
I don't know, but it looked terrible.
Yeah, it was just kind of an awkward. And it's like, go ahead, Cash. You can bang my sister now. Like that's kind of how the movie ended. That's what you assumed was going to happen.
Yeah. The ending, like the whole thing. I mean, it's just quite a bit over the top.
Yeah.
The ending, they obviously they win and they just
their innocence proven, I guess.
Yeah. I did do a little like reconnaissance on the movie, and there wasn't a ton of like interesting tidbits, but there is one that stuck out. So Patrick Swayze was originally cast to play Cash.
I could see it.
He left the movie to do Roadhouse, which also came out in 1989.
He was just reading two piles of shit. He's like, which one do I want to do?
There was also...
He's like, at least I'm the star of this other one.
I didn't understand all of it because I didn't know all the names, but there was a bunch of drama when this was being filmed. And like the producers and directors and all of that like got switched around, and like the storyline got changed and stuff. Like people thought the movie was too over the top.
Yeah.
And like there was like a camp of people that wanted it to be more realistic.
But they didn't
and
think...
more of just a cop buddy film.
But they didn't think Roadhouse was over the top? Like it...
I don't know. But they ended up like... people got fired from it, and like it changed different things around and stuff. Like some of the scenes, like I guess the original trailer had like scenes that got deleted or removed or changed. So there was a little bit of drama there.
I did not know.
I was looking up like, so this came out in 1989, and I was thinking like, okay, that was right around the Roadhouse. Evidently was the same year. And there were some other movies that came out that
What a year.
And I was thinking like, what were some of these movies? And 1989 was an insane year for movies.
Murderer's Row.
So I looked it up, and like I will just throw out some of the top ones in here. So you got one of the Back to the Futures. Part 2 came out.
That's one I haven't seen.
There was a Batman that came out. So that's got to be the one with like Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, I think,
probably.
Yeah.
When Harry Met Sally. Christmas Vacation.
Ooh.
Field of Dreams. Wow. A Lethal Weapon.
Wow.
2 came out.
Now that's a buddy cop film.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Born on the 4th of July.
Damn.
Driving Miss Daisy. Not my area, but somewhat famous.
Man,
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. A Ghostbusters. Uncle Buck.
Oh, I love...
Major League.
Wow.
Like, how did all of these movies come out in the same year? Like, we're living in a world. Hollywood is cheating us. We have shit.
Saltburn.
Yeah. Steel Magnolias, The Burbs. Let's see what else is there. Pet Cemetery. Parenthood. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
That's Rick Moranis. That's a great one.
Tango and Cash. Roadhouse.
All one year. Wow.
This is all 1989. And this just says the top 50. Who knows?
Who won Best Picture?
Kickboxer.
That's Van Damme. That's a good one. Again, I say that as really young me watching it. If we rewatch it, I don't know. But
it just seems like today, we don't get that number of good movies in a year.
No, they're all too dark and, like, edgy. We need a good buddy cop, like, again.
There was, I think it
like
was. I did read that some point in the, I don't know, 2010 to 2015 time span, there was a script out there or a potential out there for a Tango and Cash 2.
Is it too late now? Like, oh my God, they should do that. Russell and Stallone.
They should.
That would
I
be
also saw that there's a teaser out about another Predator movie, and that they might bring back Arnold to star as his original character.
There's no way he could pull off some of the stunts now. I wouldn't.
Well, who knows what his like actual role would be in the movie? But
Who would be the new Hemsworth? Maybe the new Alpha.
Yeah,
The
Probably
Rock.
got a few different people,
I don't know.
but I don't know. Like Tango and Cash was, I enjoyed watching it, but it's
I did
just
too.
it is.
I
You just
enjoyed
have
it.
to be okay
I think
watching
I
it for what
enjoyed
it
it
is.
more than the Kumite or the
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
Yeah, Bloodsport was.
I mean, I feel like we had a little more to break down with Bloodsport, just because it was true, air quotes.
Yeah, there was a lot of extra stuff for that one.
Two of my favorite actors too.
It was
Stallone
a
and
good
Russell.
movie to watch, and like, I don't know, it's like watching movies just for the sake of watching movies,
Yeah,
right? It's just a good action flick.
Yeah, just-
they're trying to be funny. It's a little over the top.
don't take it
right?
too. You've said over top so many times that I think we need to watch that movie. I actually not too long ago did watch that one with JD and Gianna.
Yes.
It held their attention.
Oh man. Did you then beat them both in arm
Yeah.
wrestling?
Only after I turned my hat around.
But it was good. I don't know that I I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I rented it and didn't buy the Stallone super pack that I was looking at.
That
to
was
have-
badass
to have sent to my
marketing, though.
house.
Like, I kind of want that just to display it.
But
What
yeah,
a
it was-
legend he is.
He really is.
We could just have a Stallone
Yeah.
podcast. You really could. It would never end.
just like walk through his entire life.
Yes.
Like just an entire biography of
Let's start when he was young and he was in a porno.
yeah. We can watch the pornos together.
I own that, so I'll let you borrow it. You got anything else to add to Tango and Cash?
I don't think so. I
We gonna
liked
do
it a
another
lot.
movie? We keep this going for the off season here?
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I don't know. I thought I don't know. It was good. Way too over the top, but it was just a
For
good
what it
watch.
is, I'd give it thumbs up.
Yeah.
Thumbs
Somewhere
up.
in the 6s would probably be where I would go.
Yeah, if we're doing IMDb stars, I'd go 6, I think. Well, I suppose we can end with the subject of the draft. A little more clarity coming with the Bears. Caleb
Yeah.
Williams will be your new quarterback with
I
his
don't-
fingernails painted.
I don't like it. It is a tough spot, right? Because I guess I understand what Ryan Poles is trying to do. He was not the GM when they drafted Fields.
No.
And he's trying to turn around a team. And if he doesn't think that Fields is the answer long term, then that's fine. You just cut bait and you move on. And also, maybe they weren't getting the offers for the first overall pick that he expected. Because you know what? A lot of the QB needing teams are already up there in the top 5 of the draft,
Yeah.
right? So, but maybe they're just like, it's like when we do our fantasy football draft, sometimes you don't want the first overall. You just let somebody else make that choice.
Yeah.
You just take whatever's left. I don't know.
I
Maybe he
feel like
will
with
be a
all-
generational talent.
With all the hype around, I feel like scouts can't be that wrong. It's just, I feel like it's the other part of him. Like, is he really a pain in the ass, or is
Yeah.
he just a weird dude? I don't know.
Maybe they just weren't getting the offers, Like,
Yeah, I think that's
if you're going to
probably it.
keep Fields, you have to get a haul for that first overall pick, especially with Caleb being there, who's supposedly this generational talent. Then you have to be able to get like a lot of draft picks from that.
Yeah.
You can't fall into that being your pick that you're getting from the Panthers, right? You just can't like have that windfall and then,
I think they made the right decision. I do. I don't think you can pass on this guy. You got to see if it works. And he's going to be on that rookie contract. You can build around him.
yeah.
They got the number 9 pick. Who would that be? A lineman?
I don't know. There's a lot of talk like they're going to do like an edge rusher, or
I don't think
there's even some talk about a receiver.
See, I don't think what they got. Keenan Allen. I think that's a fantastic trade. And DJ Moore. I don't think I'd go that high on another
Well, I
receiver.
think that I mean the only thing you would do, you'd be thinking like, well, I have Keenan for
I mean, it won't be real long. He's
a couple
older,
years, right?
but-
So like you bring someone in because like, it's usually like the second or third year when wide receivers really go off.
I think that early of a pick with what you're trying to build there, they could win pretty fast. Really, look at the Texans.
I might personally like I would say do everything you can to bolster the offensive line.
Yes, I think that'd be
If you're going to draft Caleb, why don't you also make sure you're
Protect
taking
him.
care of that. Now, whether that's drafting somebody or whether that's like free agency or whether that's trading that pick to somebody for an offensive line or something, I don't know. But it's so frustrating because like Fields could have had a better chance if they were better
help.
prepared in other spots. You
Yeah.
know? And it feels like they might be getting to that spot where they're better prepared.
I think this
And then
GM's a lot better than what they had.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think they're doing the right thing.
I hope that it's true what they're saying, that they turned down better offers on Fields to give him a better situation.
I wonder if they did.
I hope that's the truth. They're selling it like that's what happened.
Get that reputation of a players' organization.
But
yeah.
it's hard to believe, I think Fields is better than Russell Wilson. I'd be surprised if Fields doesn't play.
Russ probably got promised that job, though, but who cares?
They're not paying Russ anything. Denver's paying his salary.
Yeah, no, that's a great... I think the Steelers had a good offseason.
Yeah.
That's a really good, two good moves for not giving up really much of anything.
Yeah. No, they're getting what could be their quarterback of the future, plus a veteran who can provide some support, and all it's costing them is at most a 4th rounder and $2 million.
Yeah.
Like they did phenomenal, really.
Yeah, they had a pretty good offseason. A little surprised they got rid of that receiver, but Johnson, but he was kind of a pain.
I wonder if he had some like locker room stuff, because like Omar Epps, man, he doesn't mess around with trouble in the locker room. I'm curious to see what the draft shakes out. Like I'm surprised we haven't seen any of the top picks move, really.
Yeah, the new betting odds has that Jaden going number 2.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see his elbow?
Yes.
What the fuck was that?
That has to be Tommy John's waiting to happen, right?
I've never.
That's a lost season, isn't it?
I have stared at that picture.
I don't understand it.
Longer than I care to admit, because I don't understand it.
Every time I stare at it, I feel my elbow, and I'm like, what
how does that
is it?
happen?
What is like separated?
There's like a dent.
It's like, I mean, do I have that much fat on my fucking forearm?
What?
Like, is he just 0% body fat, and so it's all you see is his bone, and there's a muscle there?
And then if you look up, the bicep looks weird how it's connected. It's just a weird elbow.
It looks like a missed season.
Yeah, it looks painful if you bump that thing. I don't know. Yeah, I wonder if that's a medical flag. Obviously not. He's probably going to go number 2. But
and then, so that's number 2 is Washington.
So probably Jaden Daniels, and then
you've got New England.
They need a quarterback. They got to go Drake May.
You think so? I mean,
yeah.
if they weren't going to go quarterback, they'll trade.
Yeah, I think they'll do quarterback.
Although, I mean, you just never know, right? Because that organization's in a little bit of upheaval, right? You've gotten rid of Bill Belichick, who was the coach and the manager, right? So, you got somebody coming in as a new coach, a new GM. They're going to try and do their own thing. Does that mean starting with a quarterback? Do they go and draft?
Well, Marvin Harrison would be the other one, but
Yeah.
you got to have someone to throw it to him. I think if you got a chance to get
You'd think if you have a chance to get your franchise quarterback, you would do it, right? When you got the pick up there.
And then 4, I think, would be Arizona getting Marvin Harrison.
Arizona will take him if he's there.
Yeah.
That's I'm pretty sure of that.
And he will be very highly drafted in fantasy.
And I don't know that that's the smart way to go, but I don't.
You don't know. Well,
You'll
some are saying.
never know.
I read somebody had Rome Odunze above him.
That's a popular
I don't know.
mock draft for the Bears at
9. I guess if he falls to 9, I don't think he'll fall that far, but I suppose if a guy like that's there, you got to take him. But I don't know. Then the Texans are just fucking loaded all of a sudden.
That's so nuts.
I don't know.
I mean, great for them.
How long until Stephon Diggs loses it and he's not getting the ball?
I don't think it's a better situation for him. I mean, I think maybe it's more passing, so I think there'll be more to go around. But he just puts him in a spot where
a lot of mouths to feed there now.
It is, and it's Stephon Diggs, but boy,
he tailed off.
Looked real good last year.
And Nico Collins was a monster.
Collins looks real good last year. Now you got 3 of them.
Then you got Mixon now in the backfield.
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz, good tight end.
I mean, they look like they have the makings of a great offense.
They do.
But it might be, from a fantasy football perspective at least, it might, if it's pretty even, like it's going to be hard to.
That's such what a nerd I am. That was my first thought.
It's like, how does this impact?
Does this make all 3 of these guys drop down the board?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a crapshoot.
I can tell you this: I won't draft Stephon Diggs.
Well, if he falls far enough, but no, I'm not.
And I just
he really killed me last year. The second half of the year was awful.
Well, he as much as he tried, he didn't kill the team I had him on. But
humble brag.
Humble brag. But yeah, it's that was a big move. I don't know. Do you think?
And the Bills will it's a deep receiver class. They'll probably or they might trade for Higgins. I heard maybe.
You have to think they have something on their mind, because that's a big move to make with what they have left.
Yeah,
they have good tight ends, but that's a pretty trash.
Josh Allen's pretty. I feel like he'll make most receivers pretty serviceable. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
like that. I can't remember that guy's name last year. He came on the third receiver, short little guy. He took all the digs.
Shakir.
Yeah, something like that.
Something or other.
Yeah, Gabe Davis is gone too.
Yeah, that's surprising that they got rid of Gabe and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, they're going to have to go, I would think, receiver heavy.
I haven't looked too much at the rest of it, but
that's on a Thursday if we want to.
I think we should. I think
that'd be something to watch. And it's only, I think, the first round now they do on that Thursday.
Yeah.
So,
can
we take bets on what color of fingernail paint your new quarterback will have? It's got to be orange, right? Orange.
It's April. No, it'll probably be some sort of spring color.
He's got to go Bears colors.
Purple. Oh. He won't do the orange of it. He'll do the navy.
Yeah, that's a little strange. I know it's a new world, but these men painting their fingernails, I don't get it. Yeah.
My right foot, the big toe, has some fingernail polish on it right now.
Are you?
I let my daughter. I let my daughter.
Quarterback.
I let my daughter paint my nails. It must have been months ago, and all of it's come off except for there's a little bit that's still left.
Some great polish.
Yeah, well, she used a different color on my left foot, and it came off within like 3 days.
Oh, well, yeah, I do like the draft.
Yeah, we'll have to do. It is a Thursday, right? So
Yes.
we should certainly do that.
Yeah.
We should plan on like having like at least our top 10 or
Mocked out.
something like mocked out, and then we'll make a game of it when we miss. So like every
Shotgun a beer.
for each spot that's missed, right? So if a guy if you have him down as 3rd overall and they go 7th, you're just
4 beers.
Fucked.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe shotgun's a strong word. Maybe it's like a drink.
Wow, you sound so old now.
These are on Thursdays.
That's true.
I may be
Thursdays.
I may be working from home, but I'm still working.
You just tell them you were working your main job, this podcast. Oh, you got anything to end it on?
I don't think so. I think we hit on everything. We had a lot before we started talking about Tango and Cash. I think we were at like almost an hour before we.
Our fans will be happy.
I don't know about that.
I told Gianna that I was like dead serious. Yeah, tonight we got Caitlin on tonight. Your cousin, Caitlin Clark. Talk about the big game from Cleveland, and she's like, "Shut up." No, you don't. I'm like, yeah, she's gonna call in from Cleveland. I said she's gonna do her family a favor. She says, "Say swear to God." You're lying. You stop. This guy's trying to keep it going. I said she wants to do us a solid. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, if God willing I ever meet her, you better damn right know that I would ask her to be on.
I don't even know.
If she liked me enough or liked us enough, she'd do it.
I don't even know like what. Like let's like walk through that for a second.
What like an interview?
What happens if we get like an actual person do an interview? And I'm not talking about like having Anthony on to talk about
Uncle George.
annuities or George to talk
about a moose that he's talked to when he was
talking
high
about
on peyote.
The head elk. But like what would we even do? Like you'd have to.
Oh, I'd do more prepper. I would have
you know
a
how
notepad.
nervous you'd have to be? Like
We'd have to drink.
Oh yeah, obviously. But
I think I'd be good at it. You just talk about people.
Yeah.
She'd be. Kayla Clark would be easy. Good God.
Cuz, what's up?
How about Dowling? What'd you think of this teacher, huh?
Yeah, there you go. You would bring it back. This is brilliant. Yes,
it back.
we would. Bring it right back.
Went to St. Francis of Assisi, right up the street. When she was before Dowling.
Oh.
I mean, she's this Catholic school. We got that. I'm nailing her cousin. Married her cousin. We were. I was just talking with JD. They went to years ago. I think Caitlin would have been about 14, and her grandma died, and JD and Jerry went to that funeral, and I'm like, you know, little Caitlin Clark was walking around that funeral home with you. How weird is that? You're walking around, this 14-year-old is now the biggest star in sports right now. Who would have known? I assume she was there at her grandma's funeral. No, she was putting up shots. fuck
Funeral home had a hoop out back.
The sacrifices she made. Oh. But yeah, it's. Anthony wrote her a message. You hear this?
No.
I just learned this on Sunday. He used Jackie's Facebook, and around Christmas, and I'm sure she gets thousands.
Yeah, probably.
So it went unopened for months. It recently opened, but no response yet.
She's like, great, another one of these. I'm your long-lost cousin.
Like, can you just give us some Give us some autographed jerseys, Caitlin, please. Send us some sneakers. Oh.
What do you think she's gonna do? Like, is she? What about this Big 3 thing?
I saw that. First of all, I'd do it just because the money's so ridiculous. But she's great. She would get her ass kicked.
Yeah.
These are grown-ass professionals that aren't that far removed from the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's guys that were... Joe Johnson, I don't know if you heard it, multiple-time All-Star. And he's only been out of this league for like 4 years. He's 6'8". I mean, she can't beat those guys. But I don't know. You got to do it for that money, I would think.
It's crazy that the WNBA isn't more money.
What? I know, but can they afford to?
What was it? What did Ice-T say? Is it $5 million or something?
You got your rappers mixed up. You sound so old and white. Ice Cube, I believe, is who it is.
Ice-T, Ice Cube.
Ice-T's
Who gives a fuck?
Ice Cube, the max contract is $276,000 in the WNBA.
That's the max, like, per year?
That would be like the LeBron James of the league, yeah.
That's per year.
Yeah. The first pick gets 76,000, and
it's not nothing. Like it's good money, but like
for playing professionally,
it just seems insane. Now she'll
her endorsements
make money on endorsements and all that stuff, but that's crazy.
But what he's offering her is 10 weeks of basketball for $5 million. So 10 games. I think you'd be crazy not to do it. But
could she do the 10 games and then go to the WNBA?
Yeah. No, that's the thing. He's like, first of all, he said, like, I wish this didn't get out during their run. I didn't mean for it to. But he's like, the schedule sets up so there would be no interference with her WNBA schedule except one game, and I would work to move that game around her schedule. The only thing is, would the WNBA team be like, you know, you're leaving us after practice to go to this game, and it'd be kind of weird. But
they would probably say whatever you want, Caitlin.
Yeah. Would the other girls hate her?
I don't know, but
I don't know if she's
they
gonna do it.
hate you because they ain't you.
Huh? And you're white. I don't know if she's gonna do that or not, but like I understand, like if you had, but I'm not being sexist. Men are, she can't beat them. Like she could beat us. I'm not saying that, but like other guys that are actually good at basketball.
Yeah, no,
no
arguments for me. I hear you. Yes. I mean, I don't know.
I suppose she could camp out, and they have a 4-point shot in this league. Maybe she can camp out there and just launch some threes. But
and it's probably the rules are probably not as soft as the NBA.
No, and it's half court. Probably because these guys are a little older, but they're still huge dudes. Like remember Reggie Evans from Iowa, that monster?
Yeah, he's
in it still.
From a commercial standpoint, it's probably something people would tune into.
Yeah,
certainly to see, if she can hold her own against him.
And I saw that Pat McAfee show today had the current big star in the WNBA on, and she's like, "Yeah, I do know Ice Cube's been talking to numerous women, so maybe he's getting just a woman's division, which would be fine, but
yeah, you gotta get a lot of them.
Yeah. So I don't know. Be interesting. I kind of think she won't take it, though. I don't know. I just got a feeling. Since she's my family, I know how she thinks.
It would be...
and she is probably making quite a few million off Gatorade, State Farm.
Yeah, but she's only going to make money off of endorsements. She has to look at those contracts, and she just has to know that... I mean, your sports life is pretty small, right? Like, you don't have so many years you're going to do this. And, man, if the max you're going to make is that is still less than 300,000. I mean, you're talking about 10 years at that total max just to get to like 2.8 million.
The WNBA needs to up their, but can they to still make a profit or keep it running? I don't know.
No, I don't.
I guess with her there now, she is a draw. They've already sold out. Indiana's already sold out their season tickets.
There is an argument that says like that like WNBA players, they just want to get the same like percentages of revenue as the NBA players. And then someone points out the actual math behind that and goes, I don't think you realize how much money the NBA makes.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, your pay is going to go down.
Yeah.
Then
it's probably less than what you're
like the average revenue that an NBA team makes compared to the average salary of an NBA player, and it's a joke compared to the WNBA.
Yeah.
But like, there's nothing to like. The thing I hate about the argument is that there's just nothing to solve for.
No.
Because you could do it off of that would be the fair way to do it, right? Say like, the players.
Everyone goes to like the sexist thing. It has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's the business.
Because you could do that. You could say like, on average, the NBA and the WNBA had to pay the same percentage of revenue out to the players, and you could do that. But yeah, I think what you're going to find is that you're just going to be surprised at how much money the NBA actually makes.
Yeah. Their TV deals.
Yeah, the media rights is just insane, and you're just not going to get that for the WNBA.
No. They do have some good players now, though. That maybe it's just because I'm starting to watch. I don't know. Then again, when she's gone, I probably won't watch again.
It will be interesting to see women's college basketball over the next, say, 5 years, right? Because there'll probably be a lot of eyeballs on it next year, even without Caitlin and some of these other stars. But does that die off after a couple of years, or does it?
That's kind of what I'm wondering too, because I see some of these other teams that don't have those stars. It's tough to watch.
there isn't the same level of parity in the women's game that there is in the men's. I haven't looked at any. I didn't fill out any women's brackets, right? But like, what are the seeds that are in the Final Four? All ones and twos?
Actually, 2 1s and 2 3s.
2 3s?
But it's usually all ones.
Yeah.
Usually.
You just assume that there's just not as much parity.
There is a little more, I guess, than there used to be. It used to be UConn every single year.
Yeah.
And nobody else.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now there are, like Iowa is, but really they have a generational talent. You can't bank on that every year.
And I guess it will be interesting to see what Iowa looks like even in the next few years, right? Because
I will say they did get a recruit who's a top 5 recruit. Like, she's brought a name recognition to Iowa women's basketball.
Yeah.
To where now some recruits are looking at them.
Well, that's good.
So they might be building something to stay relevant, but I don't know. But no, she's really fucking good. Even that LSU coach who's kind of a pain in the ass. She's like, we just couldn't stop her. They said when we beat them last year, it's not like we stopped her. She just happened to have a little more help this time, and said she's a generational talent. She says, I don't know what.
Did she say something along the lines of like, I'm just glad I don't have to face her anymore?
They said, well, you want to know what I said to her? I said, girl, I'm glad you're leaving. Yeah, she's just kind of one of those talents that you're not going to get again.
It is kind of crazy, like, to shoot today's NBA game, today's basketball game, I should say, like, you don't have to be these, like, physically bruising guys.
No, it's more finesse.
You have to be able to shoot it these days.
Yeah, no, you do. Like, yeah, it's not as physical, and you just kind of camp at 3. I'm trying to get Gianna. I said, you got that blood in you somewhere. Get you firing jump shots.